Hey y'all, this is BG Codes and I am bradgarropy. Recently on Twitter, my buddy Brian Morrison wrote this cool article called Build Reusable Loaders for Remix. And I love it when people share their workflows in frameworks like Remix because I always want to compare and contrast that to what I like to do. So in this situation, Brian was hooking up Clerk for authentication to Convex for his backend. And he wanted to share that authentication state across many Remix routes. So he made this little function called Clerk Convex Loader. And it's a loader function that essentially checks to see if the user's logged in via Clerk. If they are, he passes the user data down to the client side with the use loader data hook. And if they're not authenticated, he redirects to his login page. Now this is cool, and it inspired me to want to share the way I share functionality of Remix loaders across the application. So I built this small little demo app, something very similar using authentication states, and I want to show you how I do this. So right now, I made this loaders file where I'm going to abstract away all of the loader logic. And in the first one, I'm going to do it kind of like the way Brian did. I'm going to take all of the loader functionality and put it directly into this offloader function where it's actually returning the response. Right now, authenticated is false, so I'll just show you that this actually works. If you're not authenticated, it throws the redirect. If you are, it returns the JSON. So we're not authenticated right now. We're going to click this offloader route, and as you can see, it redirected to login. Okay. Now let's just flip that switch. We'll make the user be authenticated. And now when you click offloader, look at that, the user information comes down and we can welcome the user with their username, okay? And so the way this is being used is this offloader here is getting assigned to the loader verbatim, meaning that everything that happens in the loader is encapsulated within offloader. Now, this is cool if you don't need to customize this, but for the most part, I find that when you're doing a loader, every route requires different sets of data. Some routes share some data, but no two routes will usually be the exact same, right? That's like having two views on a web page that require the same data. You don't run into that case a lot. So you kind of want to invert control or separate this out in a different way. So here's another way of doing this. In this particular loader, I'm just making a function to share functionality across these loaders and require auth. Instead of returning a response object, it returns the user object, the data associated with that view. And if we check here in loaders, this is what it looks like. It's pretty much the exact same thing, but you'll see the difference. When you return this JSON function, you're actually returning a response for the loader. But in this case, we just want to return some data. Is there a user? Is there not a user? And really the importance of this auth function is to just redirect to login if you don't have an authenticated user. So let's check this route. So in this case, we've got the user. If we don't have one, this function would have already redirected. And if we do, we can get more information, because most of the time what you're going to want to be doing is take that username, make some other database call or API call using that user as ID, maybe getting more information about them, and then sending it down via the JSON response. So let's try this out. So in the require auth route, you can see that the user information is coming down as well as all their statistics, let's say. But you can think about it like this. This is just a hard-coded data structure. Really, what you're probably going to be doing is something like get posts by user and passing in the user.id or something like that, some database call that returns data for that specific user. And I really like this method of sharing functionality between loaders, first and foremost, because one, it's just a function. It's easy to mock, it's easy to test separately, and two, it still gives you the flexibility to do more inside the loader that is decoupled from this function. And so I find myself using this pattern a lot at the application that I built for Atlassian using Remix. Do you have any really cool patterns that you use when building Remix apps? I'm really interested in hearing about it in the comments down below. Y'all, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.